This is the home of Rob Flores and Falcon Spotlight, named Best Student Public Affairs Program in America by the Intercollegiate Broadcasting System.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Falcon Spotlight. I'm your host, Rob Flores, here at WPMD Studios, located at Cerritos College. At this time, I'd like my guest to please introduce herself.
Hello, I am Briana Velarde from a Platforms Editor at Talon Marks. So basically, I'm in charge of all social media and the video that takes place.
He's short. Oh, folks, it's just because I have the camera. I'm going to adjust it soon.
A little too short, so I'm here.
Wow. So, what's it been like so far? Tell me, I like to always get to know, the students here at Cerritos College. It's great for our audience to, hear our stories and, tell me, like in K-12, like, did you have a hobby and interest that you, were you in a club, student government, music, maybe cheer or anything like that? Or
In high school, we were basically placed in a certain program based on a test we took. So I was placed, I went to Jordan High School in Long Beach, and it was called JMAC. So it was Jordan Media and Communications. So I think since then I've been a communications major. I would basically do stuff on stage, and we had to take graphic design classes along with video production. So I think since high school I've actually liked video, and so yeah, I just
cool. Tell me about the programs that you had to work with at that time.
Programs. I would have to work with the stage production teacher at school, so we would actually have a lot of hands-on work. Since I liked video, I would have to record football games, and after I would have to edit that, and then we would post it online. So I got a lot of hands-on experience already in high school.
Cool. And then after high school, when did when did you make the decision as to what school you wanted to go to, what major?
I actually left high school thinking I wanted to be a graphic design major. But then once I came to Cerritos and saw the math classes I would have to take, I was not too sure. And once I graduated high school during the summer, I started attending a lot of radio events that they would host, like Street Team. And I actually liked what they did, and I started, then I took Professor Bright's class during the summer. So we had to go and do a radio station profile on a radio station. So I decided to do Power 106, me and my group, and we went, and from there I started asking like the honor personalities what I would have to major in to be able to join radio, and they told me I have to major in journalism, so that's why I joined.
And your Instagram, you have a link to like a blog and stuff. Tell me about that.
Oh yes. I started a blog when I took the multimedia class that's provided here on campus by Alicia, which is also my lab instructor for Talon Marks. So she told us to do a blog about what we're interested in, and I've always been interested in music. It's basically more like hip-hop music. So I made the blog and I did the stories for her, and once the class finished, I still felt like I needed to keep blogging. So I've tried to keep up, but I haven't had time right now with the newsroom. So yeah, I'm going to try to keep blogging. It's mostly about hip-hop, or I interview on-air personalities and just that kind of stuff.
And tell me about the process, you know, how you learn to interview people and so forth.
Alicia actually taught me a lot. She likes to do a lot of like feature stuff. She likes to get emotional side of stories. So I basically learned from her how to interview people on camera or just audio, and I only did one on camera interview. I decided to interview an upcoming artist from Long Beach, and that was pretty exciting because I grew up in Long Beach, so.
Cool. And you know, tell me, in journalism, there's lots of different courses here that are very helpful here at Cerritos College. Tell me about them.
For journalism-wise, you start off in mass communications, and Professor Rich Cameron just teaches you the basics of, like, the ethics of journalism. And then he also has a news writing class where he teaches you to write leads and just start off your stories. Then there is Journalism 107, where it's actually the college newspaper. You can take it up to 4 times. Then Alicia, the lab instructor, she has a multimedia class that can help us for journalism as well.
Cool. And tell me about this blog project you mentioned. Was there a length that it had to be, like as far as video and stuff like that?
There was requirements that she would give us each week. It would be either we had to do a photo story or just a story, or we had to incorporate audio or video. And that was basically it. It was the whole semester, the blog.
Cool. Yeah, when you made the decision to do a group project and everybody got together and stuff, well, what did you take out of it? Who's your inspiration?
My inspiration to do my project on hip-hop would have to be J. Cruz from Power 106. Because since I've attended a lot of events, and actually Power has live in studio events, so I was signed up to go just to see how the process of the show works. So I just wanted to, like, basically just do a vlog about music inside radio and what's outside of radio.
Cool. Now, you mentioned that you're a big fan of hip hop. Tell me about the stations that you listen to.
I just listen to 2. I listen to Power 106. I've listened to since high school. I grew up listening to Big Boy, but he switched stations and he has his own station now on 92.3. So I still listen to him because I grew up listening. So I don't feel the rivalry between the 2 stations for hip hop. I support both J. Cruz and Big Boy, so I'll continue to listen to both stations still.
Great. We'll be right back after these public service announcements. What happened? I freaking played it, I think. Oh, no, he briefly showed me.
Right there, so.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Gotta wing it.
Introducing the YMCA. What, you already know the Y? Or so you think. Sure, you know the Y.
This is the first time I've had a guest too short.
Oh, I know, wait.
Much better.
Sure. Forgot to mention. You're like,
All I saw was your hair. I'm like, what?
I was trying to come over here. Yeah.
All with one single goal in mind, to strengthen our community. And we've got so much more that does just that. So while you might think of the Y as that place for lifting weights, we're also about lifting entire communities. Introducing the Y. We're so much more than a place. We're a cause. Visit ymca.net/money.
Budokan has played music. He's made music with some of the most famous names in early rock and roll and R&B. He's got stories, memories, first-hand experiences on the most exciting time in music. Nobody else can offer you that kind of perspective. He shares them with you every Saturday afternoon at 5 Pacific. Listen for early rock and roll and R&B as only Buddha can give it to you. It's the best of Budokan, only on WPMD on the net, where people make a difference. And we are back here on the Falcon Spotlight. I'm your host, Rob Flores, here on WPMD Studios. Now, I'm back here with my guest. So, when did you know exactly, I know that you say you wanted to get into radio, but when did you know what position, what career field in particular you wanted?
I started off just wanting to be street team for them because I liked that they would go out to like 7-Elevens or like Metro PCS, and they'll just get a crowd going by being on the mic. So I kind of wanted to feel that energy between the public, but now that I joined journalism here, I know that I can write, so I want to be a digital content producer for a radio station. So I would just blog about the artists that come, and I'll be able to post it online. So I think that's what I want to get into.
Cool. And you have, you've been very fortunate. You've had the opportunity to meet lots of different famous people. Tell me about that.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's just going out to the events they have. You never know who they bring. When I go to the live in studio events that they have, they usually have a guest. We never know. So, as well as when you win.
Oh. Always wear your headphones. Okay. So, tell me about the people that you've met.
The first person I ever met had to be artist Big Sean. I won tickets on air to see him. I think he had just recently released an album, and he was gonna have a little pop-up shop in Hollywood. So I won the tickets, and I thought I was just gonna see him from a distance, but I didn't know there were VIP tickets from Power. So I actually got to go right next to him. We get to take photos, and it was pretty cool. And I've just met a lot of artists in the hip-hop region, basically.
And you know, like when there's events and stuff, do you have to like have a certain pass and stuff? Like,
for those, when you actually meet the artists, we have wristbands from Power, so it separates us from the actual the public who's just passing by and just wants to go in the event. That's it.
and what about concerts? What's that type of environment like as opposed to like other venues that you've gone to meet them?
Concerts, those To be honest, since 2012, I have not bought any concert tickets because I always win them on Power or recently now on 92.3. Basically, those venues, you're just on your own. You never really see the Power staff because they're always busy working. But I have tickets, so I just go and I see all the artists and all the lineup that they have put out for LA. So it's pretty nice.
Awesome. And now, of course, to plug our newspaper. Right now you're part of our newspaper, and you mentioned that you hold a position. Tell me about it.
Yes, I've been on the paper for 3 semesters. So obviously, started off as staff writer. Then my second semester, I was multimedia editor, and now I am platforms editor. This platforms editor is kind of new. Last semester we introduced a social media editor, but since this semester we didn't have anybody who would take on the multimedia, it was added on to social media. So Alicia decided to call it platforms. So I'm in charge of all of our social media, which is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I'm as well as in charge of video still. Our online editor, Christopher Carrasco, still helps me with that because he has been a multimedia editor before as well. So that's basically what I do. So I have to balance on all of that. It's a lot to when there's events on campus and I have to go cover it social media wise because I have to post. Oh, we also have a Snapchat. So I have to post on Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at the same time. But I've been getting a lot of help from my editors, so it's getting pretty easy for that.
And you guys have done a lot of live broadcasting, actually, even with video. Tell me about that.
Yes, this semester we found out that Facebook has a live button, so we've experimented with that, as well as Periscope. The recent shootings that we've had across the street from campus, we did Periscope, and Periscope is really good because you get all of going live is just, you get all the emotions right there and then. The footage we did on the shootings actually came out on ABC 7, so that was pretty cool for them to use our live footage of the shootings.
Awesome. And what are you looking forward to after Cerritos College? What's next?
After Cerritos, I want to transfer to Cal State Fullerton and continue the journalism over there. I've talked to people from Power. She's their digital media team, and she's told me she went to Fullerton. They have a really great journalism and broadcasting program. So I wanna check it out for myself, and hopefully,
Awesome. And you do a lot of video. You've been known as the video person right now for 3 semesters?
Yes. When my first semester at Talon Marks, the first day they ask you what you're interested in, whether it's opinion, news, sports, or video, or campus life. And I automatically knew that I wanted to do video because I've been doing it since high school. So I wanted to incorporate my skills to Cerritos College. So I did video my first semester, and that's when they encouraged me to be multimedia editor for my second. And since then, that's what I've been doing. We actually came from a conference this weekend, JACC, which stands for Journalism Association of Community Colleges, and I won second place video story. That was pretty awesome. They just left us somewhere in Burbank and said to find a story in a certain amount of time, and we did. I stayed up till 5 a.m. editing, of course, with my fellow editors, my online editor, Chris, and editor-in-chief, Carla, we had to do it as a team to compete against other schools. So it was an on-the-spot competition, and it's really different from here, because here if they tell me I have to go do a video on an event on campus, I have instructions who to interview, and there it's just like, we don't know, we're all on our own. But thankfully Alicia has had us more than prepared for that. So
Tell me about Media Awards Night.
Media Awards Night. So every semester we have a Media Awards Night, and that's where our professor, Mr. Cameron, gives out awards to us. It's basically the biggest stories that have impacted the semester. He'll give an award to that editor or staff writer, but also us as editors, we get to choose who we decide to give awards to. And so yeah, that's it's basically Media Awards Night. We have food, and we just get to look back at all the work we've done this semester. We also get a book with our name on it, and it has all the news paper editions we've ever done that semester, so we could look back at it, and it's pretty cool.
Awesome. So, tell me about your interests.
Interests. Well, my interests are just basically just radio. On my I hardly have free time because I work at a movie theater, so my shifts are really long. Like, I come to school and I go back home and I barely have enough time to be able to change into my theater clothes, and I have to go to my job. So it's basically just, like I said, attend radio station events, because I like to see the engagement they have. But yeah, that's basically it. Or if I'm not at home, which I never am because of work, I'm always in the newsroom, so there's always something to do there.
What's it like to balance everything? How do you do it?
It's actually really hard to balance it, because not only do I have like the journalism class, but the newspaper, I also have other classes like math, and it's really, they say that people become journalists because they're not good at math, and I believe it's true, because math is not my strong suit. But it's the most hard part is having, my job requires to work Tuesdays. It's $5 Tuesdays, so there's no way I can get it off, and I'm always closing, so I have to go in at 7, and that's when we have production day. So that's probably the hardest part, where I can't help as much as I want to for production. But I manage to balance it. I just make sure I'm here during the mornings. I do whatever I have to do and then go to work. And since I'm platforms editor, a lot of my stuff is online, so I will just have to log on to our social media and just share all our stories.
Cool. Now tell me about the different social medias that you use.
We have, we recently started using Snapchat. So we basically use Snapchat. I tried to use it more what's inside the newsroom, what we do in there that people don't know. But it's kind of hard. We forget, stuff happens, and I'm not even like logged on to that. And then we have Instagram. Instagram, we basically just use it to post something big that's happened, or our biggest story, or anything. We're really active on Twitter. Twitter is where all editors have access to it, and we just like to respond to students. We take polls. And Facebook is, we're active on Facebook as well, but Facebook is more of where we try to share the work that we've done. So yeah.
tell me also, obviously, in journalism, you deal with deadlines as well, and writing a news story is a lot different than like writing an essay. You know how there's the line by line. Can you explain that?
Yes. Deadlines. Deadlines are like biggest thing at our newsroom. A news story, for example, say there was something on campus, it was news. News means you have to like have the story. We prefer it the same day, but if not, the next day, early morning, is the latest we can have it. So, and news is not like writing an essay for journalism. You can't just have like 5 sentences per paragraph. It's just you separate everything. Like you have to go, you have your lead and you have to skip to the next line, and everything is just separated basically. This semester our editor-in-chief has actually started spiking stories. So spiking means that it just won't get posted online, so the staff writer or editor won't get credit for it, because we don't like to give out like late news. Like we want to give you what's happening now, and yeah, that's basically it.
Cool. And you have to deal with on-campus stuff, but also you guys have done things where some stuff happens even off the campus. Tell me about that.
Yes, we of course cover what's on campus, but students here are not just only on campus. They go out. So the only things we've covered off campus would be we do reviews like on concerts that we think students from here have attended. Like I said, the off-campus thing was the shootings right across the street. And yesterday, actually, some of my editors went out to cover the Bernie Sanders rally, and that was in Koreatown, LA. So, yeah, that was really off-campus, but we wanted to go live on Periscope and just show you guys the rally, and you guys can find that on talonmarks.com. So, yeah, those are the off-campus things we have to deal with as well.
Nice. And let's say something comes up right away. When it comes to a video story versus a writing story, tell me about that. The difference.
So, the difference from the actual written story from a video, it's very different, because when you have just a story, the reader can't visually see what happened, and when you're doing video, you can actually take the reader there and they'll visually see what has happened, the reactions on camera. So that's why I like video, actually, because I like to tell a story and through visually. Because some readers, they will start reading a story and they will just get sidetracked and they won't finish reading it. But if it was a video, I feel like they would, the attention span will last longer for them. So yeah, I really like video.
And you guys also got Storify. Tell me about that.
Yes. Since we have all those social media outlets, we also on Twitter we live tweet. So we're just tweeting what's happening at that exact moment. And Storify is this thing where we can compile every single social media thing we've done, like every tweet, every Instagram post. Can even incorporate Facebook, but it's a little hard to do that. So we just make a story from there. We take our tweets and we pile it on, and we describe as well like what we're talking about in our tweet, because of course tweets are only 140 characters, so it's hard to put everything in one tweet. But Storify has really helped. We get credit. That's how we get credit for our social media, actually, because we have to compile it into a Storify. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and again, I just wanted my audience to, to know how active you are, because I know that once you're already part of Talon Marks, obviously you can't have like a story written on you, but you've done a lot, and actually you've had even some famous people like acknowledge you like on social media and stuff.
Yeah.
And normally they don't reply to people or get back to people and stuff like that.
I have, as I said, I look up to Jay Cruz from Power 106, and he follows me on social media, and he knows like how busy I am with school, and I know he's proud. He's told me before of everything I'm involved in, and it's just community college. Like, imagine everything I'm being involved in once I transfer to a Cal State or a university. And he sees my posts on Instagram. I usually post like major things that have happened, and he'll always comment, have other people on radio that will like it, and it's pretty cool to see that, like, his support from what I'm trying to do to join him on Power. So I always get a little excited when I see a like from them, from anybody. So yeah, the recent comment he did was a post I did of JACC when I won second place for video. I posted a picture with the team that I was with, I guess Chris, our online editor, and Carla, our editor-in-chief, and he liked it, and he commented it, and it was pretty cool. I showed Carla, and she was like, oh my god, that's cool. So yeah.
Cool. And even aside from that certificate, you won other stuff, right? Tell me about that.
Yes. I also won third place for best podcast, and I did that podcast last semester. Like I said, I'm a really big fan of hip hop, and our former managing editor, Grester Acosta, he was still part of Talon Marks. He was transferred now to Cal State Long Beach, and our current sports editor, Terrell, they're as well as hip hop fans. They love the music, and one of our favorite artists, J. Cole and Kendrick, they did verses on each other's beats, and they people, artists usually charge, but they put it out for free, and I was like, dude, this is awesome. I liked that they did verses on each other's beats, like. So I just went in the newsroom, and I told Terrell and Grester, I was like, hey guys, we're going to be in the back, and we're going to do a podcast on this because it's awesome. And they were like, okay. So we went in the back, and we just started talking about it, and our viewpoints on it. Grester, of course, was more of a Kendrick